A great question was asked. Should I do more reps or more load? A great question. So let's have a look at what load actually does. The load that you lift determines the amount of force that your muscle has to generate to overcome the load to lift the load. So the more the load, the more force that your muscle has to generate to overcome the load. So more load, more force. More force requirement means the muscle has to activate more motor units, which are the individual fibers that make up the muscle. So more load, more force, more motor unit recruitment, more muscle fibers activated, and yes, you guessed it, more physiological change, more stimulus, more adaptation, more overcompensation, more results. If I don't progress the load and just lift the same load, but I do more repetitions, I'm still recruiting the same number of motor units in that motor unit pattern to lift that load. All I'm doing is I'm reactivating the same muscle fibers more frequently because I'm doing more frequent numbers in the form of repetitions. So yes, repetitions is a good way to progress. But what you're not progressing is more motor units or more muscle fibers. You're just progressing the endurance of those individual fibers that make up those motor patterns or those motor units that overcome that load. So the goal is to do more reps where the weight feels easier, so you can increase the load to activate more motor units. Because with the more motor units, you're going to get more physiological change and gains of strength, muscle tone, muscle hypertrophy, and muscle adaptation. If you lift the same load more, you're just going to get endurance on those fibers that are recruited for that motor pattern and that load. You're not going to recruit any more. So the goal is to do more reps so the weight feels lighter so you can increase the load. That's what we call the progressive overload principle. It means you've got to keep progressing the overload or the load so you stimulate more force onto the muscle to activate more motor units to create a more muscle adaptation to get greater gains if your goal is to get gains. Obviously if your goal is just to maintain, then you don't have to progress the load. You just keep the load where it is and that's going to maintain it. But if you want more gains, you have to put more weight on the bar or the dumbbell or whatever load that you're lifting so you can stimulate more motor units so you can get more results. And that would be no cow poo.